Hi students, today we are going to learn a new branch of physics that is very interesting, that is kinematics. Okay. So what is this kinematics? Kinematics is a branch of physics which deals about the nature of motion, whether the body is moving fast or slow, whether it is accelerated, how much distance it travels, whether it is moving slow or fast, like this. So it deals about the nature of the motion of the body and its trajectory and without any cause of its motion. So what is a kinematics? Kinematics is a branch of physics, mechanics. Kinematics deals about the nature of the motion. What it deals? Nature of the motion of the body. Motion of the body. This body we consider as a rigid body or a particle. So this before going to this, I want to introduce this translatory motion. What is a translatory motion? So if translatory motion, translatory motion. What is translatory motion? This translatory motion, if a body you consider as a particle or the body as a rigid body. So the rigid body consists of many particles. If all the particles of the body will have same displacement, it will take all the particles of the body will take same trajectory, same displacement, same velocity, same acceleration, then that body is that motion of that body is said to be translatory motion. So it may be a straight line motion or curvilinear motion. All the particles of the body will possess same phenomena. The motion should be in the same phenomena, all the particles of the body. Hence, the study of a particle in the body represents the motion of the whole body. Such a motion, it may be a straight line or a curvilinear path. Such a motion is said to be translatory motion. So what is a translatory motion? The motion of the all particles of the body, motion of the body represents motion of a particle, motion of a particle. The motion of a body represents motion of a particle. All the particles of the body will have same, all particles of the body consists of many particles. Rigid body consists of many particles. So it composed with many particles. So if study of motion of one particle, study of motion of one particle, motion of a particle in the body represents motion of the whole body, represents the motion of the whole body, motion of the whole body, whole body. So motion of the body represents motion of the particle, that is Body consists of many particles. Study of motion of a particle in the body represents motion of the whole body. So that motion may be straight line, may be rectilinear motion, rectilinear or curvilinear motion. Okay, such a motion is said to be, we can call it as translatory motion. Now this translatory motion so first of all I want to introduce some definitions regarding this motion. Okay, the first one is definitions in kinematics. Some definitions, that is, the first one is rest and motion. What is this rest and motion? So when a body is said to be at rest, when a body is said to be in motion. So with respect to an observer, you can say that. So if you want to study the nature of motion of a body with respect to observer, if the observer will be at rest, so the position of the body changes with respect to observer, then the body is said to be in motion. If it will remains the same with respect to a fixed observer, then the body is said to be in rest. So this rest and motion are relative terms. So in order to say a body is in rest and motion, you have to take a reference, that is observer. That observer will be at rest. A fixed, with respect to a fixed observer, that body, if it is in motion, its position changes with respect to time. With respect to time, then the body is said to be in motion. If its position remains the same with respect to observer, then the body is said to be at rest. So this rest and motion are relative terms, they are not absolute terms. So the rest and motion are relative terms. That means in order to say rest and motion, we need a reference. We need to say rest and motion, we need a reference. That is we can call it as frame of reference. That is, with respect to fixed, if position of the body changes with respect to a fixed observer, then we can call it as the body is said to be in motion. If it is at same position it won't changes with respect to time, then we can say that the body is at rest. So this frame of reference generally we consider as a Cartesian coordinate system. Generally we choose a frame of reference x-axis and y-axis and z-axis. Okay, so this is z-axis. We can choose this frame of reference. That is, observer is fixed at this origin, and with respect to motion of the body, if position vector changes, position of the body changes with respect to this fixed axis coordinate system. If position changes, then the body is said to be in motion. If its position remains the same with respect to origin, then the body is said to be at rest. So to say we need this coordinate system, that we can usually call it as a frame of reference. So you take one example. Suppose a person moving in a bus. With respect to co-passenger, he is at rest. A person observing from outside the road. For that person standing on the road, with respect to that person, the same person moving in a bus is said to be in motion. So the same person with respect to co-passenger, it seems to be at rest. With respect to a person on the road, the person moving in a bus is said to be in motion. So in order to say motion or at rest, you will need a reference. That reference we can call it as a frame of reference. Generally we choose a coordinate system as frame of reference, which is fixed. The next one is distance and displacement. So this rest and motion, they are not absolute terms, they are relative terms. Next one is distance and displacements. Next definition is distance and displacement. So if this position of the body, suppose the motion is in a curvilinear motion. Suppose the body moves in a curved path like this. Its position changes with respect to time. Let at a particular position, so it represents this position, which is represented with the letter R bar vector. So let P be the position of this particle. At a particular instant of time. So if that position, this is the position of a particle. If its position changes at a particular instant of time, this is called a position vector. This one we can call it as position vector. So it indicates, it is represented with letter R bar. It indicates a particular position of the body or particle at a particular instant of time. Suppose this position changes with respect to time. See, at a particular instant it is at A position. After time t seconds, so at t2 instant its position will be at B. So it travels along the curved path AB. So with respect to this origin, OA is the position vector, initial position vector of the body. Let it be R1. So after t seconds, at instant of time t1 seconds. At instant t2 seconds, the clock will be fixed with respect to this observer. At instant t2 seconds, B be the position of the observer, position of the particle. So its position changes from A to B. So OB is the position vector at the instant 2. So its position changes with respect to time. So what is the distance and displacement? The shortest distance between these two positions, initial and final positions, is called, that is we can call it as displacement vector AB. So that displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final positions. That we can call it as, we take it as R bar. This displacement vector we can take it as R bar. So this one R bar displacement vector R bar, or we can write it as dr. dr bar is displacement vector. How we can write this displacement vector? R2 bar minus R1 bar from displacement vector. Displacement, how we can write displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final positions. Shortest distance between initial and final positions. Initial and final positions. So displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final positions. So that is AB is the displacement. That is, we can write it as the displacement, we can write it as from triangle law, displacement is equal to dr bar, we can write it as, that is R2 bar, we can write it as R2 bar minus R1 bar. From triangle law of vectors, we have this R2 bar, the position vector R2 bar minus R1 bar, because we have R1 bar plus this displacement vector dr bar is equal to R2 bar from laws of vector addition. So these two add, R1 bar plus dr bar is equal to R2 bar. So displacement vector dr bar is equal to, we can write it as R2 bar minus R1 bar. So that is displacement vector. And distance is the actual path. This is the, let it be, or we can write it as delta r. Dr can also be written as delta r. This actual path traveled by the body, let it be delta s. The actual path length is called distance. So what is the distance here? Distance is actual path length. Actual path length, we can call it as distance traveled by the body. Actual path length, it is also measured in meters. It is shortest distance is also meters. Displacement is a vector quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity, but distance is a scalar quantity. So what is the direction of displacement from initial to final? Okay. So displacement is a vector quantity, whereas distance is a scalar quantity. The distance traveled by a body is displacement, the displacement magnitude always less than or equal to distance traveled by the body. Displacement is less than or equal to distance traveled by the body, and this displacement may be positive or negative. Displacement may be positive value, negative value, or zero. If a body reaches to initial position, if it after traveling certain distance, it again reaches to initial position, then the displacement becomes 0 in that case. So the displacement may be positive or negative or 0, but distance traveled, is always positive. Always positive value. It cannot be negative value. Okay. So the actual path length is represented with delta S. This actual path length is here represented as A to B as delta S. So I will give few examples of this distance and displacement. Okay. Let us see some examples regarding this distance and displacement. Suppose you take this first example. A body is projected so a body travels A to B. Simple example, A to B in a straight line. So what is the distance traveled here? Distance is AB. What is the displacement? Displacement is also AB. So if a body moves in a straight line, then the distance and displacement both are same. If a body moves, and second example, if a body moves along the circular path, semicircular path, like this, circular path having the radius r, let r be the radius of this circle. A body starts from A and moves along the circumference, travels, reaches to the point B. So along the semicircular path, in this case, in this example 2, this is example 1. What is the distance traveled here? So distance here it is, what is the distance traveled? Distance is, if r is the radius of the circle, and the distance traveled is half of that circle. Half of that circle is pi r. So that is the actual distance. What is the displacement? Displacement is shortest distance between initial and final positions. That is AB. What is AB? That is nothing but 2r. Okay. Suppose if it is moves in a circular path once, like this, starts from A, moves along the circle and reaches to A. Final position is also at B, at A. So what is the distance here? Distance traveled is, after completing one rotation, the distance traveled is 2 pi r. What is the displacement here? Displacement is 0, because again after completing one rotation, after n rotations also the displacement distance increases n times and the displacement will still becomes 0. So these are the few examples of distance and displacement. You take another example. Okay. Suppose a body is projected from a tower. So it again reaches to the foot of the tower. So what is the displacement here? Distance traveled and the displacement. Suppose it reaches, projected from A, it reaches to B, maximum height, then it again falls to the foot of the tower. What is this? Foot of the tower. So it is tower projected from top of a tower. This is top. top of a tower of height h. What is the height of the tower? Let it be h. What is h? Height. Height of the tower. Let it be, this distance will be, AB will be s. So it travels a distance s, and then again s, again it reaches to this point, and again it will falls down. Then in this case I want distance and displacement. So in this case I want a distance and what is the distance in this case? What is the distance? Distance you projected from a top of a tower. So this is the initial point. So it travels a distance s. So s, and again the actual path length again s plus this height, that is h. So this is height of the tower h. So what is this distance traveled? 2s plus h is the actual path length, that is the distance. I want displacement. So displacement is, so it travels a distance s in the forward direction. So s, and again it returns. So that value s, that is in opposite direction s, in this direction s plus h, s plus h. So displacement here s, this is in the forward direction, and it again returns back. So this distance is s plus h. So you have to subtract here. So displacement is, that is minus h. This displacement is minus h, or simply we can say that this is the initial point, this is the final point. So it reaches here. So what is this distance? That is h, but you are projecting vertically up. So but it body displaces back. So hence you take it as minus. So the displacement I said may be positive or negative or 0. When it reaches up to here, displacement is 0. So displacement may be positive or negative or 0, but distance is always positive in this case. So these are the few examples to understand distance and displacement. Next one is this rate of change of the speed. So as the position of the body changes, this rate of change of displacement we can call it as velocity. The rate of change of distance is called speed. So the next one is speed. What is the speed? The rate of change of distance. The rate of change of distance is called speed. So what is its unit? Distance. Speed is equal to distance by time. Distance traveled by time interval. Okay, its units. What is its units? Meter second inverse is a unit of speed. And this, what is the velocity? What is velocity? The rate of change of displacement. Rate of change of displacement is called velocity. So velocity is displacement by time. The rate of change of displacement by time. Displacement by time, you will get velocity. So here in this figure, let us to understand this, again you take this example. Suppose the body moves in a curvilinear path. So along the curve. So body moves like this, A to B. So the distance traveled is delta S, and displacement I take it as delta R. So this delta R, as I said, the velocity is the rate of change of displacement. Here that we can write it as R2 minus R1, that is delta R, that is displacement is delta R in this example by delta T. So here time is T1, here time is T2. So that difference in time is delta T. So this can also be written as R2 bar minus R1 bar by T2 minus T1 in that time interval. So this velocity we can call it as average velocity. This velocity we can call it as average velocity between the intervals T1 and T2. So this we can call it as average velocity between the time intervals T1 and T2. So the body moves from A to B. During this interval T1 and T2, we need average velocity. That velocity is rate of change of displacement. That is, the displacement body displaces from position vector R1 to R2. So that displacement is R2 minus R1 bar in a time interval T2 minus T1. So this is, you will get a average velocity. That is average velocity. Suppose this average velocity, if you want instant, here you need average speed. Similarly, we can calculate average speed is average velocity, we can also write it as average velocity, we can also write it as total displacement by total time. Total displacement by total time. That is, we can also write it as average velocity. Similarly, if you need average speed is equal to, I will write here, average speed, you want total distance by total time. Total distance by total time. We will get average speed. When a body moves in a straight line, the velocity and speed are same. So when a body moves in a straight line, this here it is a curvilinear. Velocity is a vector quantity, but whereas speed is a scalar quantity. So what is the difference? Speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. So it has both magnitude and direction. So you want velocity direction here. So you draw a tangent to the curvilinear path. That tangent indicates the velocity direction here. Let it be V1. Here the velocity, let it be V2. Here you could draw a tangent here again. So that tangent drawn at a point at this position indicates the direction of velocity. So the velocity is a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction. If a body moves in a curvilinear path, what is the velocity direction? The direction of velocity, how we can find? If it is a straight line, if a body moves in a straight line, it is in the direction of motion. It is in the direction of motion. In the direction of motion. So what is the direction of velocity? If a body moves in a straight line, it is in the direction of motion. Suppose the body moves in forward direction, its velocity is forward. If a velocity moving back, then its velocity direction is back. So if it is moves in a curvilinear path, then you draw a tangent at a point indicates direction of velocity, direction of velocity. Tangent drawn at a point, at that point indicates the direction of velocity. Okay. Next, so if a body moves in a straight line, this speed and velocity both will be same. Next, this rate of change of, the next one is, suppose you find this average speed and average velocity. I will give few examples. Suppose in one dimensional motion, what is one dimensional motion? Body moves in a straight line, that is rectilinear motion. That is body moves in a straight line. Suppose body travels a distance d1 with a speed v1, and next it travels a distance d2 with a speed v2, and travels a distance d3 with a speed v3, and so on, like this. So what is the, suppose the body starts from A, here, like this. So up to n terms like this. I want average speed. What is average speed? Total distance by total time. So what is the total distance traveled here? d1 plus d2 plus d3 and so on, divided by total time. So time is here, time travel to with we are assumed that with the uniform velocity here. So here time taken is speed into distance by speed. You will get time. What is the time here? Total time is distance by speed v1 plus what is the t2 here? d2 by v2 plus d3 by v3. This is the time. Okay. So this is, thus we will get average speed. Okay. Suppose it has n intervals. Suppose d1 is equal to d2 is equal to d3. Like this, there are n times are there. So what you will get here? Each part, let it be d. Each part is d. So we have n parts. Let it be. So what you will get? Total distance is d into n parts, where n is number of parts, n by here it is d. You will get d as common. You will get 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2 plus and so on. You will get 1 by vn. So what you will get? This is average velocity. So here d get cancelled. Average speed. So what is average speed here? Average speed is equal to v by n. We have average speed is equal to v by n is equal to 1 by v1. So you will get, so n, bring this side, n by v average is equal to 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2 plus 1 by v3 and so on. Okay, like this. So I will write this formula here once again. So here I want average speed. A body moves in a straight line. So equal displacements. First equal displacements here travels first 1/n of the distance travels with a speed. Total distance is divided into n parts, n equal parts. Each part is traveled with a speed v1, v2, v3 and so on, vn. I want average speed. So average speed is, we will get n by v average is equal to 1 by v1, just I cross multiply this one, this side I will bring this side. So 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2 plus 1 by v3 plus and so on 1 by plus 1 by vn. So this is the formula. Okay. Suppose body travels 3 equal parts. Suppose d, d, d. This distance d, d, d. 3 equal parts. Total distance is divided into 3 equal parts. First part travels with a speed v1. Second travels with a speed v2. Third one travels with a speed v3. Then what is average speed? Can you say? Here n is 3 equal parts. 3 by v average is equal to 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2 plus 1 by v3. Simply. This is the answer. So what is this problem? Suppose the total journey is divided into 3 parts. D, D, D. Equal parts. First 1/3 of the distance travel with a speed v1. Next 1/3 of the distance travel with a speed v2. Next 1/3 travels with a speed v3. Then what is average speed? We can write it as from this 3 by v is equal to 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2 plus 1 by v3. Or we can write it as v is equal to 3 v1 v2 v3 by v1 v2 plus v2 v3 plus v3 v1. You simplify, you take LCM here v1 v2 v3, here you will get v2 v3 plus v1 v3 plus v3 v1, that is 3 by v. You inverse that, then you will get average velocity. Okay, denominator 3 v1 v2 v3, here is 3, bring this side, you will get this. Suppose the total journey is divided into 2 parts, first half, second half. First half travels with a speed v1, second half travels with a speed v2. Then what is the average speed? Similar fashion, we have 2 by v is equal to 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2. So v is equal to, we have v is equal to 2 v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. So this is when you are using this formula. So suppose total journey is divided into 2 parts. First half of the distance travel with a speed v1, next half of the distance travel with a speed v2. Then what is the average speed? V is equal to 2 v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. As I said, average speed and average velocity both will get the same formulas for in one dimensional motion. Okay. So these are the few examples. Suppose here the journey first t1 seconds. First t1 seconds it travels with a speed v1. The body starts from A. It t1 seconds it travels with a speed v1. T2 seconds it travels with a speed v2. t3 seconds it travels with a speed v3 and so on like this. Now I want average speed. What is average speed? What is average speed? The basic formula is total distance by total time. Total distance by total time. What is total distance here? Total distance is d1. What is d1? Velocity into time. So d1 velocity into time is total distance. So v2 t2 plus v3 t3. This is travels with a speed v1 t1 seconds. Next t2 seconds it travels with a speed v2. Then the distance travelled is v2 d2 plus v3 d3 and so on by total time t1 plus t2 plus t3 and so on. Like this we can calculate, in this case we can calculate average speed. So what is the average speed here? v1 t1 by v1 t1 v2 t2 and like this and so on up to n. Suppose 3 halves are there. I divide the journey into 3 halves. So equal time intervals t, t, t. First it travels with a speed v1. Next equal interval it travels a speed v2, v3. I want average speed in this case. So average speed in this case. What is this case? 1/3 of the time. See, 1/3 of the time. Total time is t plus t plus t, 3t. Total time. Total journey time. A body moves in a straight line. Total journey time is t, 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 3t. Equal intervals t, t, t. So 1/3 of the time travels with a speed v1. Next 1/3 travels with a speed v2. Next 1/3 travels with a speed v3. Then what is average speed in this case? So in this case average speed is, in this case is, what is in this case? Equal intervals v1t plus v2t plus v3t. You take t as common by t1 plus t2 plus t3 plus, so t plus t plus t, that is 3t. So t get cancelled. So here you will get v1 plus v2 plus v3. So simply you take a arithmetic mean. In such case you take simply its arithmetic mean of all speeds. You will get average speed. Okay. So these are the few examples to calculate when a body moves in a straight line, the average speed and the average velocity. When a body moves in a straight line, average speed and average velocity, we have the same formulas. Okay. Next one is acceleration. So this acceleration, before going to this acceleration, I want to say speed, instantaneous velocities. So instantaneous values, instantaneous speed. What is instantaneous speed? Speed of a body at a particular instant. Speed of a particle or body at a particular instant. at a particular instant is called instantaneous speed. The vehicle speedometer indicates the speed of the vehicle. Okay. What is similarly instantaneous velocity? Velocity of a body at a particular instant. Velocity of a body or particle. Here I am using body or particle. Both are same here in translatory motion. So, velocity of a body at a particular instant of time. At a particular instant of time is called instantaneous velocities. So, instantaneous velocity in this example, as A and B both coincide with each other. See, the body moves like this in the curved path. A and B will be at the same point, as that means the time interval is very small. A and B are at the same point. That is, what is velocity? The velocity we can define as the rate of change of displacement, r2 minus r1. Average velocity we defined as t2 minus t1, or we can write it as delta r by delta t. This is the actual velocity formula. As velocity delta t tends to 0, this interval as A reaches to B, this delta r by delta t we can call it as instantaneous speed. As delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t we can also write it as dr by dt. That is rate of change of position. Rate of change of position of the body is called instantaneous velocity. We can write it as with the letter V. V is equal to dr by dt. The rate of change of position. The rate of change of position is called instantaneous velocity. Here V is called, or we can also write it as ds by dt. Rate of change of displacement. This V is called instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity is, we write it as dr by dt. As delta t, here this is delta t, sorry. So, this delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t is equal to dr by dt. That is rate of change of position. Rate of change of position is called instantaneous velocity. Okay. Next, acceleration. Okay. So, acceleration. What is acceleration? The rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. That is, here V2, here the velocity is V2, here velocity is V1, V2 bar minus V1 bar, T2 minus T1. This velocity is called average acceleration. This acceleration is called average acceleration, V2 minus V1 by T2 minus T1. That is, this is average acceleration. A is equal to final velocity V2 minus V1 initial velocity by T2 minus T1. That is, velocity at this particular instant is V1, velocity at this particular instant is v2. So the acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. Change means v2 minus v1. v2 I take it as velocity at b, v1 is the velocity at t1 seconds, that is at a. So the change is v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1. This is called average acceleration. Okay. If you want instantaneous acceleration, that is instantaneous acceleration. What is instantaneous acceleration? That is a is equal to, if this delta t is small, that is delta t tends to 0, this delta v by delta t can be written as dv by dt. That we can call it as instantaneous acceleration. So we can write it as a is equal to, this a is equal to dv by dt. So what is this a is called? This a is called instantaneous acceleration. That is acceleration at a particular instant of time. This is average acceleration. What is average acceleration? Rate of change of velocity. This is average acceleration between the two intervals t1 and t2. Suppose if this acceleration is uniform, this acceleration, if it is remains same, so this acceleration may be uniform or non-uniform. Uniform or non-uniform. If acceleration, what is its unit? Unit is meter per second square. So what is this unit of acceleration? Is meter per second square, and it is a vector quantity. This acceleration is also a vector quantity. So that is, it has both magnitude and direction. So what is the direction of this acceleration? It is in the direction of v2 minus v1. So this acceleration we have, if it is same both in magnitude and direction, magnitude and direction, if it remains the same, then the acceleration is said to be uniform. What is a uniform acceleration? When a body moves in the acceleration value remains the same both in magnitude and direction, then the body is said to be moves with a uniform acceleration. If it changes either in magnitude or direction, then the body is said to be non-uniform acceleration. A changes either in magnitude or in direction, either magnitude or in direction, then it is said to be non-uniform acceleration. Okay. So this acceleration, so what I define acceleration, its units, and it is a vector quantity, average acceleration and instantaneous acceleration. This acceleration may be uniform or non-uniform. Okay. So these are the few definitions in today's class I explained. Okay. So what I explained, I explained the started kinematics, just I introduced the definitions of distance, displacement, velocity, average velocity, speed, average speed, and accelerations. Okay. And I introduced translatory motion today. Okay. Okay. Tomorrow I will continue. Thank you.